Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Ohio State esports broadcast. Now, today we are casting Ohio State League of Legends versus Rutgers. Now, as you can see on your screen, we're already here into Champions Select. But before we get ahead of ourselves, I'm Benjamin Nighthawk Knight, and joining me on the desk for today is none other than Trevor McDougal McDowell. How's it going, McDougal?
Oh, I'm doing pretty well. A little tired, but we're surviving and we're getting ready to cast. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. I think we got a great game of League of Legends coming up ahead of us. Ohio State still looking for their first win of the season. We did see them go or take a loss against Michigan State last week. This will be their second game. Rutgers, on the other hand, coming into their third game of the season at a 0-2 record themselves.
Yeah, they lost pretty convincingly actually against Maryland last week. However, the week before they did take a game off of Michigan State, so I think it'll be actually pretty close between these two teams.
Yeah, so here we have in picks and bans so far, Ohio State has banned out Zoe, LeBlanc, and Zillion, targeting that mid lane, and Rutgers has banned out Victor, Jace, Hello, everybody. We do apologize for the technical difficulties. Hopefully, everything should be online and working now. Now, the players, as you can see, have completed the pick and ban phase, so they should be loading into the game. We are waiting for the spectator delay to catch up, so we got a couple minutes until then. We can review the rest of this pick and ban draft.
Yeah, again, I think whenever we end up cutting out, actually, we can just recap it from the beginning. So Ohio State, the first three bans, they ended up pinching out Rem's pool. They banned the Zoe LeBlanc and Zillion. Two of the three were his top played, and the third was one he picked up fairly recently. Then Rutgers responded with 2 million bans of their own, the Victor and the Jace. The Jace actually, Ayla Mazedon can take that to the top lane as well. And then they banned out the Comus's Thresh. They saw how scary that was last week and did not want to face it. And then Ohio State responded with a Cassiopeia first pick for Dare to Defy. Not very surprising there. It's a very strong, very powerful pick. Rutgers responded with a Ezreal and Urgot pickup. Again, Urgot is one of those very, very strong top laners, and Ezreal is a fairly safe AD carry. And then Ohio State closed out their first round with the Lucian Braum pickup, which is a very strong bot lane, and it enables the Comus to try and be that playmaking support with the Glacial Fissure. And then lastly, Rutgers closed out their first phase with the Nocturne pickup for the jungle. Again, fantastic map presence, especially whenever you get level 6 with that Paranoia. Very, very strong. And as we moved into the second phase, actually, do you want to cover this?
Well, at this point, of course, we did enter the second phase of bans, and looking at the first three champions picked for either side thus far, they are mismatched. Ohio State had picked their mid lane and full bot lane, whereas Rutgers picked their bot laner, top laner, and jungler. So we do see Ohio State thus trying to pinch out the mid and support champion pools with the Orianna and Morgana bans, and then Rutgers then responds with Silas and Olaf bans to do the same.
Yeah, and then coming out of that second ban phase, Ohio State was able to pick up the Sejuani for the jungler D-Nice. Again, that's one of his most played, one of his most comfortable junglers. And it actually gave Ohio State that kind of frontline pick that they were looking for. And Rutgers was able to respond with the Shen and Lissandra pickups. Again, Shen, we are assuming that's going support, especially given their final pick being Lissandra. Shen support is something that would be able to counter Lucian, try and prevent them from stacking that Braum passive and hitting a stun onto somebody. And then Lissandra is that safe mid laner pickup for Rem. And it gives a lot of utility as well with the Glacial Tomb, or Frozen Tomb, excuse me. And then Ohio State actually closed out with the Yasuo pick for Ayla Mazedon in the top lane.
I really like this Yasuo pick. It works well with the Sejuani, as Yasuo can easily proc Sejuani's passive. And they also do have a decent amount of knockups on their team, especially with Braum, Glacial Fissure. So not the most orthodox pick, Yasuo in the top lane there, but I'm excited to see what they'll do with it.
Yeah, it's fairly interesting. He does somewhat counter Urgot. You know, you're able to win wall the Fear Beyond Death as well as his shotgun knees auto attacks. But I feel like it's a very risky pick. Because if Rutgers decides to send their jungler top lane, you know, the Nocturne, while he's not the strongest early ganker, it's a Yasuo into an Urgot. If Ayla Mazedon gets set behind early, I feel like that spells trouble for this Ohio State squad.
And I believe Sejuani actually does have a knockup in her kit. Am I correct on this?
She does, yes. Her dash, if she ends up hitting any champions, the first one hit will be knocked up and it will stop her dash.
So it looks like Ohio State, I mean, from the beginning of their drafts, they seem to have this Yasuo in mind. And then, of course, with the final pick of pick ban phase, they decided to realize it. As you said, it's risky, but I think if they play it right, it could be very, very beneficial.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and see. And as for this Rutgers squad, once again, I feel like your win condition this game is to make sure the Urgot gets ahead and the Yasuo stays behind. Lissandra, while you can gank that Cassiopeia, Dare to Defy is surely going to take that cleanse. So maybe not the best early gank opportunities there. And then this bot lane, Lucian Braum, it's very safe. And with Ezreal Shen in the bottom lane and the Ezreal electing to take teleport, actually, you really don't have a lot of kill threat down there either. So Rutgers, they're more looking to farm out this early game and maybe apply a little bit of pressure top, keep their Urgot ahead. While this Ohio State squad is almost certainly going to look to keep Dare to Defy safe and even in this lane, because while the ganks are unlikely, they could come through. And then they're probably going to try and pressure this bottom lane as well. I wouldn't be surprised if Elo Mazedong is left to his own devices in this top lane, just because with this new AD carry, Ice Bling, his Lucian is very, very clean. And obviously your playmaking support, the Comus, is down there as well.
And now I'm curious about this first pick Cassiopeia for Ohio State, because Cassiopeia is one of the best champions in the current meta. And with Rutgers in the first 3 bans targeting the carries of Victor and Jace, you have to imagine that Cassiopeia was at least on their radar. Why would they leave it open knowing that OSU is likely just going to instantly first pick it?
I feel like they left it open so that way they would have Ohio State first pick Cassiopeia, because Dare Defy loves that champion. It's, this game-changing DPS mage that he really enjoys playing. And they actually left the Urgot open as well. So they're able to trade the Urgot and Ezreal pick for the Cassiopeia. So I feel like it was 100% planned. They knew that if they decided to throw a ban or 2 at those champions, they might not get one of those power picks. So they left all of them open and forced Ohio State to take one while they grabbed the other 2.
And then this Shen pick I'm intrigued about as well. It's been a little while since we've seen Shen in the spotlight of the champion or of the support pool. Is he making a resurgence, or is this more of a conditional pick that they decided to bring out for this game?
I believe it's a conditional pick at the moment. Your little field where it parries auto attacks, that prevents Lucian from being able to proc the Braum passive. So it's more of a counter pick to this Braum Lucian bottom lane, more so than being a power pick support. In the current meta, we more see champions like Braum, Thresh, Alistar. Every once in a while, you get a Nami down in the bottom lane. But Shen, is really more just a counter pick in this lane.
Yeah, definitely. Against this Lucian Braum combo, as you said, Braum is one of the more safe carries, but he has plenty of initiation on his side as well. The Glacial Fissure and the Winter's Bite both can really lay some hard CC down, and then Lucian, very capable of following up on it. So not surprising to see Rutgers go for a little bit more of a reserved bot lane.
Yeah, and another thing that's interesting, Ezreal normally goes Klepto. Part of me wants to see the new meta, which this was actually nerfed, but it's still somewhat viable. Before, you used to be able to take Spell Thieves and Klepto and not farm. We saw this in LCS last week, but then they hotfixed it. I believe it was Tuesday. You would take Klepto and Spell Thieves and not farm any minions at all, and just harass the enemy laner down and stay about even in goal while not getting CS. And then your opponent would have a bounty based off of the way that CS bounties work, because you'd be down in farm, but you'd still be about even in gold, so they would get a bounty. And then after you complete your support item, you can then start farming again, and your jungler comes down, helps you pick up that kill, and you get an extra 400, 500 gold bounty. So I don't think we'll see that this game, but just something to keep in mind. It is always possible.
And did you say that was hotfixed?
That was hotfixed. However, a couple days after it was hotfixed, in Korean solo queue, I believe it was, there was a Ezreal Galio bottom lane where the Galio went Relic Shield, farmed all the creeps, and the Ezreal took Spell Thieves and just kept hitting, the same way as before. So it's possible. Highly unlikely, especially with the Shen being down there.
But what specifically did the hotfix patch? How did they resolve the issue?
They made it so with Spell Thieves, you have to be in a lane with someone who is getting that gold.
Right, you need to be near another allied champion.
And that's why you go Galio with Relic Shield, because Relic Shield did not have that passive. So, just finding small little loopholes to abuse the bounty system, which I love talking about the bounty system because I kind of hate it.
Doesn't everybody?
I am not a fan of CS bounties. I feel like they should just remove them entirely. In my opinion, they have no place in the game because in my opinion, it punishes you for either doing better than your opponent or in late game from catching up to your opponent. Because let's say you're down 5,000, 6,000 gold. and you start picking up super minion waves, you're getting extra creeps every wave, and if you're farming those, you will eventually get a bounty, which then the enemy team, as they're trying to close out the game, can get that extra gold and get to an item faster. Anyways, looking at the start of this game here, we do see the standard 5-point. However, Rutgers was not able to secure a ward in the top lane as of yet. We'll see if Andes decides to come down here. And it looks like Nocturne, Best Cannon, NA will be starting on that blue buff. You see Ohio State picking up that bot lane pixel ward, as we see Andes again getting that top pixel ward. So both teams do have both pixel bushes warded, which means they will be able to scout out the enemy jungler early.
Yeah, pretty standard starts here. We see Dean Ice on the Sejuani starting red, Best Cannon NA on the Nocturne starting blue. Pretty much as predicted, both getting sizable leashes from their bot laners.
And it'll be interesting to see where Dean Ice goes from here. Again, Sejuani is one of those fastest scuttle takers in the game. She can just walk in and get those permafrost stacks and then almost 100 to 0 the Scuttle Crab. Looks like Dean Ice does opt to go for the Gromp first. Or not Gromp, excuse me, Krugs first, while Best Cannon NA is on his Gromp. Best Cannon NA will be the first one to this bottom lane Scuttle Crab. So we'll go ahead and see. I don't think Diaz will be able to contest this, as he is still on his Krugs. And it looks like he will just be farming his bot side camps early. No problem. He'll just be able to go and take that top river scuttle in just a little bit.
And now, as we get into the early game here, where do you expect to see the early jungle pressure come out? Is it going to be in the top lane, perhaps in the bot lane, even with the dual safe supports we've drafted? Where do you expect to see Best Cannon and D-Nice spend most of their time?
I feel like if you're D-Nice, you're going to just try and ward out the top side jungle and then spend most of your time bottom and keeping this Lucian Braum ahead in their lane. As for Rutgers jungle, Best Cannon NA, I would expect him to do the opposite, stay on the top side of the map and try and snowball Andes in the top lane.
Yeah, we've seen what a top lane Urgot can do with an early lead, just start dominating the rest of the game, both in tank and damage stats. So possibly a win condition for Rutgers moving forward into this game to get them ahead early, but definitely not their only one, as they do have damage in other lanes as well. We see a small skirmish in the bot lane here. You see a stun on the Sweaty Toast, taking a lot of damage from Illusion. Ice Bling still at half her full health, taking the enemy bot laners down to half.
Yeah, right there we saw Sweaty Toast narrowly missing the taunt, and the Comus was able to use Stand Behind Me to get a nice little trade onto Sweaty Toast, and of course Ice Bling was able to follow up with his double shot passive. Again, now we do see Best Cannon NA clearing out his last camp in the topside jungle. Currently, both jungles are finishing out their last camps. We do see Dean Ice recalling. Has about 900 gold, almost 1,000, so he should be able to pick up his first jungle item here, and he does. He opts for the Chilling Smite, and we will see Best Cannon NA resetting as well.
Yeah, pretty standard stuff for now. Neither jungler really making an appearance in lane yet. We'll have to see who does make the first move. Scuttle Crabs are fairly even as well. We saw Dean Ice take the top lane Scuttle, Best Cannon and A take the bot lane Scuttle. So fairly even across the board so far.
And Elmas only doing a little bit of trading in the top lane. This is kind of how the Urgot Yasuo matchup will go early until Urgot gets some resistances.
Now, the first dragon of the game will be an Infernal. Of course, being the first dragon, it does get that extra percent bonus. So a normal Infernal will give plus 8% AD and AP. The first Infernal will give plus 14% AD and AP, which, if you like an Infernal, you like a first Infernal that much better. So we will likely see a decent bit of jungler pressure. And a small skirmish is a flash forward from Comus to secure the stun. That's first blood going over to D-Nice in the river.
Yeah, Best Cannon was looking to get a little bit of pressure on this bottom lane, try and relieve his Ezreal and Shen, and he ended up face-checking D-Nice on the boar. And that's not what you want to see early if you're Rutgers. Now it looks like Ohio State will rotate over to this Infernal Dragon. I would be very surprised if Rutgers University was able to contest this.
Yeah, that's quite a nice prize there First Blood is good. First Blood plus the first Infernal is even better. This is going to feel very nice in the pockets of Ohio State moving forward into this game.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, it looks like Ohio State is doing a great job of maintaining pressure across this bot side of the map. Dare Defy is staying fairly even in this middle lane, even has a slight CS advantage, while Ice Ice Bling and the Comus are really dominating this bot lane at the moment, as was expected. Not hitting on Ice Ice Bling.
Yeah, we see a small skirmish here. Ice Ice Bling taken very, very low, and he is going to be taken down with the auto from the Ezreal. Stun comes out onto Ezreal from the Comus, and he's still very tanky. He's not taking too much damage. Now taking about to 30%. Aelin has it on with a teleport to finish him off. Cokes takes a tower shot to, and falls as well, but Aelin Alzadong isn't done just yet. He gets a double kill off the back of it. Both top laners have rotated back here into the bottom lane. Dean Ice is joining the fight now as well. It's like Andes is cornered. He has nowhere to go. The stun lands, knockup. There's the Yasuo ult to secure it. That's a triple kill for Aelin Alzadong in the bot lane.
Oh man, what looked like such a good trade for Rutgers University is turned around by Aelin Alzadong's teleport, and in the end, the Yasuo picks up a triple kill for his troubles. I'll tell you what, if you're Rutgers University, that was probably your absolute worst case scenario. The late game carry Yasuo just got 3 kills, and now he's a 600 gold bounty.
Yeah, I mean, you said it in Champions Select. Yasuo is a risky pick. Well, suddenly that risk is dying down as he's got 3 kills to his name. That's really unfortunate if you're a Rutgers fan right now.
And I'll tell you, it looks like Aelin Alzadong is building towards what I would assume is going to be a Phantom Dancer, so he can survive a bit longer in this lane against the Urgot. It's going to be very, very hard to kill him. As we see the Comus stand behind me in, and we get a pause for lag.
Yeah, pause from one of the players right in the heat of the action as we see a gank here coming in from Dean Ice. You have to see if it'll go anywhere, as we do see both bot laners from Rutgers at very high HP, but none of them, crucially, have any summoners available, so we'll have to see once this pause is relieved by one of the players.
Yeah, and I actually didn't see before this play started if Sweaty Toast used his taunt. If he did use his taunt, then he is very likely going to die here, as D-Nice is 6 and does have that Glacial Prison. If he didn't use his taunt, then I would assume Rutgers University will be able to get out of this, unless D-Nice lands a ridiculous ultimate. So as we're still sitting here at this pause, waiting for the players to resolve that issue, just kind of looking across the map again. Aelin Alzadong is in a prime position to snowball this top lane. Really doesn't have to worry about the Urgot too much anymore. All he has is a Phage. Looking in the jungle, D-Nice, while he is down about a camp, he does have, again, that kill and that assist, so he has a slight gold advantage over the Nocturne. Towards the mid lane, Dare to Defy against Rem. They are about even in CS. Neither one has any kill participation, so they're even. Although we do see Rem the first one to roam down to this bot lane as he was getting vision in that river. So we're going to see if he can have a presence in this upcoming fight. And then, of course, the bottom lane, Cokes was able to pick up a double kill in that last little skirmish, so he has a slight gold advantage over Ice Ice Bling. However, Ice Ice Bling does have a Bilgewater Cutlass to match the Sheen, as Ezra went for a tier instead. So we'll go ahead and see what happens here, as we did see Sweaty Toast reconnecting. So we should be getting back in the action shortly.
I believe it was Best Ken and NA.
Oh, you're right, it was.
Reconnect. So I'd imagine that the player difficulties we see here that resulted from this pause would not have a significant effect on this skirmish. We could possibly see a reps here in the bot lane. At least you'd hope for competitive integrity, but we have seen all players reconnect, so we should be good to go here. Players are probably just making sure everything's ready before they hit the ready button.
Maybe,
just
maybe
as I say that, yeah, Best Ken and NA immediately just leaves the room. We might be here for a couple more minutes, folks.
Yeah, well, we can go ahead and talk about something else. How much LCS did you watch today?
Just a little bit, actually. I tuned in just to watch my favorite team, TSM, and boy, what a game what that was. Did you happen to see it?
I did see. They took down the undefeated 7-0 Team Liquid.
Well, not undefeated anymore.
That is true. TSM now moves to 4-4. It was quite the performance by Broken Blade on that Jax, actually.
Yeah, he did quite well for himself there. Bjergsen as well. gathering a large advantage for himself even early on into the game. And I saw an interesting statistic from Reddit. You know, the Reddit statisticians are always right. Someone pointed out that with Team Liquid's loss here in Game 4 of the LCS, they now have a 0% chance to go 18-0 this season.
Well, you're right. You're not wrong. Oh my gosh, man. Always leave it up to Reddit to bring out the statistics you never would have thought of.
I mean, that is something you'll never hear the LCS casters say. So someone had to say it, you know?
Yeah, you're right, for sure. So as we're looking at later and later in this game, I believe, it looks like we might be getting back into the action right now. So I can go ahead and hold that for later.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Last time I said that, we immediately saw Best Canada quit the game.
Oh, there we go. We're on pausing. We're getting started.
I stand corrected again as we now launch back into this game. The Glacial Prison hits him immediately. Sweaty Toast is taken very, very low, stunned and taken down. Ice Bling takes the kill in the bottom lane.
Yeah, so Sweaty Toast, he did use that taunt beforehand, so D-Nice knew he was able to hit that Glacial Prison right quick, and they're able to throw that kill over to Ice Bling to try and equalize that gold on the AD carries.
Yeah, those pauses right in the heat of things are always really awkward for the players because you know they're sitting there spamming that R button, especially for D and Ice, right on top of Sweaty Toast there.
And off of that assist, D-Nice was able to finish his jungle aim. He now has that Cinder Hulk enchantment, so he will be a very, very tanky Sejuani coming into the next skirmish.
Yeah, a lot of gold all across the board for OSU. They are 2,000 gold up here just 8 minutes into this game, and they do have that bonus Infernal on top of it. They're going to be doing very well as far as early game stats goes.
And we did see Best NA handing over that blue buff to Rem, and we do see D-Nice doing the same for Dare to Defy. So both mid laners do have blue, and Lysandra will be able to try and shove in this Cassiopeia and get a bit of lane priority so she can then go and ward the bot side jungle with her jungle.
I'm taking a quick tally of our turret plating here. Of course, we're 9 minutes into the game. We still have about 5 more before the turret plating falls. We do see 2 on the side of OSU, 2 on the side of Rutgers. However, they are spread out. CA Lamazadong is going to be able to grab another one for OSU here in the top lane, thus equaling the top lane score. But most of the advantage for OSU currently lies in the bot lane. You see a Glacial Fissure here catching 2 out. Sweaty Toast dashes out of the way, calling to lay on some damage, but he's just out of range. Coke should be able to make it out of this one. Winner's Bite lands an Ignite as well. That's a curious one. The Comus is going to go away. Hit by the True Shot Barrage, taken very, very low. Jumps to the minion, but here comes the Paranoia. Nocturne finishes him off. This could be a double kill, and it will. The Nocturne takes both. Best Cannon and A 2-0.
Yeah, that was really well played by Rutgers bottom lane. I mean, that's the power of the Shen Ezreal combo. You end up jumping onto the Shen. He ends up taunting out of the way. You end up trying to look for the Ezreal with the Glacial Fissure, and he has the Arcane Shift away. And then that was just the Comus walking a little too far forward, tanking a tower shot to throw the Ignite down onto Cokes. And obviously, Best Canada was ready for the Paranoia, and they just pick up another 2 kills, this time on the Nocturne.
Yeah, that was a really questionable initiation from the Ohio State bot lane. They hit the Glacial Fissure onto 2, which was good, and they got some initial damage off. But then the culling just blatantly missed. He was just out of range, and they continue to follow up, even wasting an Ignite when Sweaty Toast is at 40% HP. And then, of course, just to put the final nail in the coffin, Best Canada NA was waiting with the Paranoia ready to strike. You got to play with more respect if you're Ohio State bot lane.
Well, and especially whenever you see D-Nice on Best Canada NA's Raptor camp, he was vertical jungling, which means, the enemy jungler is more than likely at bottom side. I feel like at this point, D-Nice is trying to just protect Ilamazadong's lead, keep him ahead of this Urgot, as he does pick up that static Shiv just now on that back. So maybe D-Nice next time will be telling the bottom lane, hey, listen, I'm top side, just trying to, not play safe necessarily, but you don't have to go in, right? So you're gonna sit back, let Ilamazadong continue to snowball this top lane as he is 30 CS up now.
Yeah, and he's also got an additional turret play since we last saw him. We see Best Canada NA here waiting, looking to make something happen. He does have his ult back up, but Ilamazadong is playing very passively, staying very close to his turret, so it doesn't look like they'll be able to make anything happen just yet.
And Mazong is kind of putting what I just said into action. Your jungler's bot side, you can kind of assume, since junglers have been kind of cross-mapping each other, that the best kind of NA is up here as well. So he just kind of lets Andes shove it back into him, and it looks like Best Can NA is still looking for something here as his paranoia is up.
Yeah, he's wasted a lot of time in his top lane and has yet to make his move. There it will be. The darkness falls. They're under his turret, though, nearsighted, and the wind wall comes out, blocking any potential damage, and he's going to just walk out of that one.
Yeah, the scary thing here for Elam Azadong, though, is the fact that Andes still has that Fear Beyond Death up, but it looks like Rutgers University's top laner and jungler will both be resetting now.
Now,
as I say that, Andes cancels his recall, so he'll probably just pick up this next wave as well.
Yeah, and I'm not a fan of that play from the Rutgers top lane and jungle. They not only did Best Kennen waste possibly a minute of his free time just sitting in that top brush, he pops paranoia and really doesn't get anything out of it. I mean, they chunked Elam Azadong out, but you can see now he's back up to full health. He doesn't know any different. And suddenly, Best Kennen NA, he's useless for another minute or so until that paranoia comes back up.
Yeah, it's not the worst thing in the world, as he was able to alleviate pressure. However, as you said, he will be stuck kind of farming camps for the next minute or so. We did see Elam Azadong and D-Nice pick up that Rift Herald, and Elam Azadong is the one that has that in his back pocket. He's actually summoning it right now, trying to take down his turret.
We see a skirmish in the jungle here as well. D-Nice perhaps going a little bit too far. Miasma comes down, Best Kennen is grounded, the Shenol comes down, Petrifying Gaze doesn't get the stun on Rem, who's now taken very low with the poison. The last Twin Fangs will finish him off. Sweaty Toast looking to get a kill of his own, and he will get it. Dare to Defy now in the enemy jungle. Zhonya's just pops, but it's only going to buy time. Best Kennen NA is looking for the flank. The Twin Fangs will not finish off the Shen. Best Kennen NA is looking for the fear onto the Cassiopeia, and the Fear Beyond Death will take him just as he's unable to get Best Kennen NA. Elam Azadong is looking to make something happen. He flashes tornadoes forward, but he doesn't quite land it. Paranoia drops it back up. And now the Yasuo is looking for a triple kill. He gets one. Will he get two? Yes, he will. That's a double kill going over to the Yasuo. He's now 5 kills deep and looking to snowball this game.
Oh my gosh, that fight was so close between both sides. As we saw Dare to Defy almost taking down Best Kennen NA, almost taking down Rem. But in the end, he wasn't quite able to get either one. Best Kennen NA was able to pick him up, I believe. No, it was actually Andes with the Fear Beyond Death that picked him up. And then in the bottom lane, we actually saw a bit of a dive going awry there.
Yeah, Ice Bling and the Comus awkwardly standing under turret there, trying to finish off Cokes, but he kites well. The culling doesn't land, and the turret just finishes off Ice Bling. That's one kill, really going over to Cokes.
I'll tell you, this game is very, very bloody already. I am loving it. I feel like even though it's bloody between both sides, I think Ohio State is coming out on top, as they did pick up a kill on their Cassiopeia, and their Yasuo is now 5-0.
Yeah, I didn't quite catch the final kill tally in that very extended jungle skirmish we saw there. Did you happen to catch how many kills went over for either side?
I believe it was 3 going over to Ohio State and just 1 in the topside jungle going over to Rutgers University. So I don't think D-Nice was in that fight, was he?
Early on he was. It was him getting caught out in the jungle that started it off, but I'm not sure if he died.
So it might have been 3 for 2.
Well, regardless, a fight of very, very close proportions. Last minute Zhonya's Fear Beyond Death to yank him back before he can get the final Twin Fangs. If we're going to see more fights like that, I think we have a very exciting game in front of us.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a very high damage game, as you do have, the Cassiopeia, the Yasuo, the Lucian on Ohio State's side. And then, obviously, Nocturne always being able to jump into the back line. You also have Urgot being that beefy yet high damage top laner coming out from Rutgers University. It's definitely going to be an interesting one.
We do see Ohio State currently with the advantage. They stand about 3,000 gold up, as well as sitting on 2 elemental drakes. They have the Ocean and the first Infernal in their pockets. Looks like they'll be going to trade to increase that advantage, as they're positing around this second Ocean Drake here. They haven't started it up yet, because it looks like They want to contest. The Glacial Fissure to knock up the Shen ulti. Glacial Prison finds one, but it's Ice Bling in the back of the lineup. He's going to be taken down first. Dean Ice is going to be focused down now as well. The Fear Beyond Death to yank him back in. That's 2 kills going over to Rutgers so far, but low health bars means they have to play it safe. Ayla Malzadong is going to be the next target as now Sweaty Toast is taken low. That's 3 kills now shut down for the Ezreal. The Comus will be the 4th. A return kill going over to Dare to Defy on the Cassiopeia, but it's not much as Rutgers takes 4.
Wow, that was a really well-played fight from Rutgers University. They were able to try and split Ohio State's team. It started out with Ice Bling being caught out a little too far from his support. And just from there, it was splitting the team. Dare to Defy and Ayla Malzadong were the last 2 left standing on that top side. And Ayla Malzadong did fall. That shutdown did go over to the Ezreal. So that might be a little bit of a problem later, as he just picked up his Mura Mana as well. I would expect this game, Mana Mean, excuse me. Mura Mana is the evolved form. Not quite there yet. He has to get 750 stacks on that tier. He's currently at 600. So that'll be coming in shortly. And then after that, I would expect to see a Archangel Staff being picked up for him. Again, that double tier Ezreal build is very, very strong once you get to the later stages of the game. Your W does scale off of AP as well, so it's not the worst thing. And you do get a shield out of it once you have it stacked up.
Yeah, big gold swing going in the favor of... big gold swing to alleviate the price. Yes, Rutgers, thank you. I really mind... wow. Anyway, big gold swing going in the favor of Rutgers University is going to neutralize the advantage that Ohio State has built up. You can see they're down to about 1.5k, and as you said, much of the gold going on to Coates with that shutdown. As well, they did pick up an Ocean Drake themselves, thus further bringing the lead to 0. But you see Ohio State still playing the macro game. They are 2 turrets up now. They did secure the first one. To Rutgers, 0 turrets.
Yeah, another thing to note, we did see Ayla Malzadong finish up his Infinity Edge, so he now has that 100% crit chance on the Yasuo. He'll be able to dish out tons of damage in the next fight. And he actually finishes a QSS now as well, so in the event that Rem ults him, or even the Urgot Fear Beyond Death starts to pull him in, he can actually QSS both of those. So we're going to see how he decides to play this next fight in the event of either one of those hitting him.
See Ohio State turn their sights on the mid lane turret. They've got both of the side lane outer turrets. Of course, mid lane would be naturally the next one to go for. It's already at about 30% HP. They've got 4 members here looking to take it down, but the wave clear from Rutgers is keeping them at bay.
Yeah, Ezreal again has his Iceborne Gauntlet. You also have the Lysandra standing there with her ice shards. She's able to, between the 2 of them, they're able to clear out very, very quickly. Okay,
so now you're Ohio State. You have this incredibly fed Yasuo who's been doing very well so far. He's currently sitting at 5-0. How do you utilize this going into the mid game? How do you move forward?
I feel like at this point you need to try and group up, have your 4 members on the opposite side of the map as the Yasuo, and just let Ayla Malzadong do his thing, get some alone time with that tower, with that Urgot in the side lane. But again, the one problem with that is you have to be able to scout out best can NA. If that 1v1 in a side lane turns into a 2v1, that might spell trouble for Ayla Malzadong on the Yasuo. So again, vision control I feel like is Ohio State's game right now.
Now on the side of Rutgers, of course, you said to counter this Yasuo, all you have to do is send 2 people down there. That'll effectively neutralize him, but that spells problems. If Ohio State is pushing 4 men strong in one lane, it's a 4v3. How do you respond? Is it just fast rotations? Is it just map awareness, vision? How do you balance this 4-to-1 strategy that Ohio State will be looking to utilize?
If you're Rutgers, the good news for you is you have a Lysandra, Ezreal, Shen 3-stack. It's going to be very, very hard for Ohio State to finally engage on them. It would have to be a near max range Glacial Prison coming out from D-Nice to start the fight off. So that's the good news for Rutgers. If you play back, you can play safe, try and clear the wave from a longer distance, and then, again, just try and dodge out the Glacial Prison from D-Nice. Maybe have Sweaty Toast go ahead and tank that, so that way you keep your Lysandra and Ezreal safe.
Yeah, Yeah, we'll have to see how well they do with that. Unfortunately for them, they have now lost 3 turrets, including that mid lane outer. So Ohio State's further increases their turret advantage to 3-0, and now as we are at 21 minutes, the Baron has spawned. I don't expect either team to really put too much emphasis on it quite yet, but with Ohio State controlling much of the map as it is, we could see it become a focus in the next minutes.
Yeah, I believe the next objective will be this Infernal Dragon that's spawning in about 10 seconds. We do see Rutgers University are the first ones here. They're kind of sitting in that pixel bush waiting for Dean Ice or the Comas to face check it.
And they've also got mid priority here too. You see Dare to Defy having to go mid to clear that wave. He will rejoin the fight now. They did have a small window. It looks like Ohio State wants to go in on this. The Glacial Prison and Fisher both land on the same target. He's grounded and taken very low. Rem is going to be stunned and taken down, but the True Shot Barrage and Ezreal Poke is going to get a return kill on the side of it. The Coma is taken down as well. It's support for mid lane.
Yeah, and Ohio State will say thank you very much for this trade, and we'll also pick up that Infernal Dragon, and we'll see where they decide to go from here. Rutgers does have the inside track on the middle lane, and it looks like Ohio State are sending pings down towards that bottom turret, but they decide against it and only send Elama Zedong.
Yeah, both teams still here with high health bars. It looks like Rutgers will be able to make the most of this. They do get the mid lane tier 1 turret. This Kenanene is going to be poked out, not taken too low. He does have that Guardian Angel on him as well, so he can be a little bit aggressive. But we see Elama Zedong return to the bot lane, where he's done best so far, and both teams disengage.
Yeah, and at the end of it, Rutgers University were able to secure that mid lane tier 1 turret, but at what cost? Ohio State was able to pick up that second Infernal Dragon, and they were able to pick up Rem as well on the back end of it.
And it looks like minions in the top lane pushed in favor of Ohio State, and were able to clip down the last few remaining health ticks of that turret. So Ohio State actually gets a turret as well. They don't pick up their local gold. Does go in their favor. We see a flash coming in on Dare to Defy. It doesn't look like he landed this taunt though. He flashes out himself, and he is going to get out with 60% HP. Like Lissandra is not done though. As he goes in, he's taking down to half health already. Now the flash from the Comas, and flashes over the wall and takes down Coast. There's a shutdown onto the Ezreal, but now the Paranoia pops. Cannon takes down 1, but he's taken very low as a result. GA pops. It's a 3-on-1. Surely he can't make it out of this one. The miasma to ground him, and he will be taken down. That's a 3-for-1 in favor of Ohio State.
Not to Ohio State. They're actually pathing towards this Baron. Dean Ice is still very healthy. Dare to Defy still has a fairly decent mana bar on the Cassiopeia, and we see Elama Zedong roaming up here too. This might be an uncontested Baron going over to Ohio State off of the back of that fight.
Yeah, but the question is, do they even know? I'm not sure they have any vision, although surely they have to suspect it. It doesn't matter at this point, as it will be Ohio State picking up that Baron. And that's quite a huge gold swing now in favor of Ohio State.
Yeah, and once again, what looked like a possible pick for Rutgers University, they stayed around a little too long, and Ohio State was able to bring the rest of their members and turn that around. I'll start off with Dare Defy getting caught out a little bit, was able to use the cleanse very effectively and hit the Petrifying Gaze onto 2. And then from there, it was just the rest of Ohio State coming in. Dean Ice dashing forward, canceling Rem's claw that was trying to dash in and finish off Dare Defy. And, the rest is history. Ohio State now is a Baron looking to siege up this middle lane.
Yeah, nearly a 6,000 gold lead and 2 Infernal Drakes on it to boot. Depending on how many turrets they get, this could the gold lead could snowball even further. They do already have 4 off the map, so it's not as if there's a huge amount of standing gold waiting for them to collect, but they are going to try to take as much of it as possible, as we do see them barreling down this mid lane now. See the Paranoia just to zone him off. The Glacial Fisher lands. True Shot Barrage is blocked out by the Unbreakable, and a lot of damage onto that Lucian, as he's already taken down to half health. Best Kenanene is taken very low, as the culling is going to pop, and kill goes over to Lucian. Rem now is going to be the next target. That's a kill on the Dare to Defy. Double kill for the Lucian now, as the rest of Rutgers is falling behind their turret. Ondas is taken very low. Flash out from the Sejuani to finish him off, and that's 4 clean kills going over to Ohio State.
And during that whole fight, Elama Zedong is sieging up this bottom lane. He takes down the inhibitor tower, and now it's knocking down that inhibitor's door.
Yeah, he's just been having free reign down here. That's an inhibitor in the bot lane, and surely we'll have an additional one in the mid lane here as the turret is about to fall as well. There's still just 1 person in the base for Rutgers, and it looks like Ohio State is looking to end this game. They've got about 7 seconds left on the death timers and no minions in the base. D-Nice is tanking up the turret, but it's not a whole lot of damage. Here we have the the Baron buff minions in the base. Both Nexus Turrets has fallen. True Shot Barrage laid on some damage, but the members are respawning. Low health bars on the side of Ohio State, but they are going to burst down the Shen. That's one less player to contend with. Lysandre throws out the Glacial Claw, but he's not going to follow it. It looks like they've zoned them out for now. It's going to be 2 inhibitors going over to Ohio State, but they have to leave now. They've taken 2 Nexus Turrets and 2 inhibitors, but that's all they can get for now.
Oh man, that was so unlucky. There was one hero melee minion that came from the middle lane towards the bottom lane to stop that minion wave from crashing into the tower, which whenever there are not minion waves hitting the tower actually has increased resistances. So Ohio State was not able to finish off that last Nexus tower and start hitting up the Nexus. It did fall in the end there, however, once again, Rutgers University, this game is not over yet for you.
Yeah, but this is quite a precarious situation for Rutgers. I mean, you basically have to keep 3 people in your base at all times just to make sure no shenanigans happen. We have super minions spawning in 2 lanes here, and the backdoor potential is decent from Ohio State. So holding on by the skin of their teeth is Rutgers.
Oh, you want something funny? There is a ward sitting right next to Rutgers Nexus.
Oh, would you look at that?
If they walked a little too far out, Aelamazonong's teleport is coming up in about 30 seconds. If they wanted to, they could look for backdoor. However, I think after this third Infernal Drake pickup, Ohio State will just look to siege as 5 and in the game.
Yeah, I don't even think they have to wait for a second there, and they have all the advantages they're ever going to get. 11,000 gold, 3 extra Infernal Drakes. You see the Comb is dauntingly going in. That's a 2-man Yasuo ult culling to finish him off. It's 1 kill already going over to Ohio State. Best Cannon and A is not going to be out of this fight, as now it's 3 kills for Ohio State. Cokes is separated from the rest of his team. 4 kills make it. Rem is taken very low. Z-Nice will not be able to finish him off, but he goes back into the fountain. Ohio State turn their sights on the Nexus, and that's Ohio State taking this game 1 of the best of 3 against Rutgers.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, well, like a somewhat back and forth game towards the middle of the game. Even though Aelamazonong was ahead, it was really cracked open by that slight overextend by Rutgers University when they thought they caught Dare to Defy out. The rest of Ohio State was able to collapse and ended up turning into a 3-for-1, I believe, as the Comus did fall, saving his mid laner. However, they were able to get the Baron off of the back of that and then just finally push their advantage and end the game.
Yeah, and really just a series of fights, small skirmishes in the beginning leading on to grand team fights going the way of Ohio State, just continually snowballing that lead to the point we see now 12,000 gold ahead to finish off the game. Dominating performance from Ohio State all across the length of the game.
Yeah, and Dare to Defy on that Cassiopeia ended the game 8-1-4. Did 22,000 damage in a 28-minute game. That's pretty darn good from Ohio State's mid laner.
Well, that's Ohio State going 1-0 in the first game of this best of 3 series against Rutgers. Of course, we will cover the rest of this best of 3 as it plays out, so stay tuned. Here at Ohio State, we are going to go to a brief intermission as we wait for the players to get to champion select for our game 2. Don't go anywhere. More League of Legends action coming up right after this.